All right, what's going on, everybody? As y'all know, it's me, Infinite Trip. But y'all can also call me Johnny. Um, I've been wanting to do this video, honestly, for a while now. It's just, it's kind of hard sometimes. And I received a lot of information, a lot of good advice, a lot of, things that I just want to talk about here. This is going to be a kind of a different video, to be honest with you. Um, it's more than likely going to be of a more serious nature, of course. Uh, this is something I wanted to do for myself, for the community, and for the people who watch me, are watching me, who are supporting me, who are everyone. Y'all know who y'all are. Thank you so much for doing so, of course. Um, but yeah, let's just get started. I really don't have. I didn't want to plan a script because I wanted it all come from the heart. Uh, so yeah, so basically, what I'm gonna be doing today is just gonna tell my story. Uh, I know some people are not gonna, they're not gonna really care, to be honest. But some people out there, they think they're the only ones going through stuff, and it just kind of sucks sometimes when you feel real alone. So yeah, there will be sometimes. Sorry, I'm going off track already. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, what I wanted to do is sorry about that. Yeah. So what I wanted to do is talk to y'all guys about my story. So in order for me to do that, let's go back to. Honestly, let's go back to graduating high school. I mean, that's like almost plus 10 years, right? 10 years, 10 years is this year. Graduate high school. I've been having jobs, steady jobs since I was 16, and yes, I progressed, and I want to say when I turned 20, um, that's when I really went into this dark, 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 dark tunnel, honestly, and that's the way I like to see it, as a tunnel. A lot of people see it as a cave. A lot of people see it as a bottomless pit. A lot of people see it as. I also see it sometimes as a like quicksand, where you're trying to get out. You're trying to try, but the more you try, you just can't get out. So around when I was 20 years old, I want to say I did fall into depression, really bad, honestly. Um, I don't know why, other than maybe they had to do because I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do in my life. I don't know where I was going. I don't know what was going on. It was more of like a big thing for me, or for I feel like everybody, honestly, is when you start comparing your life to others, and you start seeing people not just doing better. Like it's not even just that, but doing things that you might want. I mean, even just you know having families or stuff like that, or getting better cars, getting better houses, getting moving out and stuff like that. And yeah, like it just when you start to compare yourself like that to other people, you're just asking for it essentially. So yeah, you're basically just asking to be sad, and that's obviously that's not good. Um, but yeah. So when I was 20, uh, I self-diagnosed myself with depression, which is so stupid. You should never. I don't think you should ever self-diagnose yourself, honestly. But some people do. To each their own. But I feel like if you do self-diagnose, you don't go to a doctor and they tell you like you're just thinking yourself a bigger home. So yeah, I believe since I was 20 to 25, that's whenever I was in that deep hole. And around that time, I was working at home. So when I was working at home, um, you're just sealed in these four walls. It's just four walls around you. And I'm just sitting here like I am right now, like on a computer, talking to a mic, and I'm just answering calls, basically like a call representative, right? So back then, I didn't want to exercise. I actually didn't really find that any interesting at all, honestly. I didn't think I had to take care of myself. I didn't think I had to eat healthy. I didn't think I had to do all that stuff. To be honest, all I really did was go to work, literally like this, right? Be on the computer for 8 hours. Then, as soon as work is done, clock out, close the computer, and then go straight to bed. Go straight to bed. Didn't hang out with my friends. Didn't socialize. Didn't go out to eat. Go out to new restaurants. Go out to see other people. Meet other people. I didn't. I just honestly didn't feel bothered. I didn't want to do any of that. Um, but yeah, I don't think I don't think that's the way life should be lived. At least for me, in my opinion, of course. But yeah, like during those years, the 5 years, I went. I feel like I went through hell, and it was not fun. And you will get people, especially family members, of course, that are trying to help you out. But when people don't understand, and it's just like the depression's just eating you up. It just, especially people who say think positive, stay positive. It's way harder than it looks, and I just want to make sure the reason I'm actually doing the video is so if people who don't think that there's somebody out there that doesn't understand them because and like they don't get it, they just never been through it, and this and that. I want y'all to understand that if y'all having problems or anything like that, y'all can always hit me up. Y'all can always DM me. Y'all can always reach out to my socials or anything like that, and we could talk, see what's going on. Um, but so I was saying, um, so yeah, I basically I would just get off of work, go to sleep, and then get back up, go to work, go back to sleep, get back up, go to work, go back to sleep, and that's just not. I don't think that's the way to live your life. Of course, everybody has their own. Everybody. You don't have to be depressed, but I was already depressed when I got the job, so it didn't help that the job was at home, and I didn't go anywhere else outside of home. So yeah, when you isolate yourself like that, and don't get me wrong, isolation can be used for great things, especially if you're trying to lock in and focus up on something that you really want to do. Isolating yourself is the best thing to do. That way you can take out all the distractions from your head. But when you isolate yourself too much, that's whenever um, that's whenever it can get kind of messy, especially if you don't know how to control that. Uh, the reason why I really don't care what people say, think, or feel about me is because of things that I've said to myself so many times in my own head in my room. And I know a lot of people are gonna resonate with that. I know a lot of people are gonna they're gonna be like, yeah, that's the way I think. I get it. I've seen it a lot now. I see it a lot now, and it's actually kind of sad. But yeah, I used to. I mean, you name every name on the book. I used to call myself. I was just I was just doing my own thing, and yeah, I was just you know just working. I mean, I was still getting money, but I was just working. I was drinking a lot. I was really drinking a lot. I was probably drinking. I mean, it's an at-home job, right? So I want to say I was probably drinking about a 24 pack every 2 days, and I mean that might not be a lot to some, but it was a lot to me because um, I mean it's just a lot. I was just going through a lot of beer, and I was just getting blow. I was just really letting myself go and stuff like that. I didn't think I had a future. Around I want to say 2020, 2019, I actually went uh, around okay, let's rewind a little bit back. Around 2017, I started having my some attacks. I started having seizures. Um, Now the seizures, even till now, we don't know how are they caused. But most of the times when I did have the seizures, it was because of stress. When I stressed myself out too much, and I would be in my own head too much. That's whenever I would seizure out or whatever. Um. So yeah, after that, everything went more downhill. After that, everything went more downhill, and I was just more depressed. Depression is a feeling, but when you're like clinically depressed or like really depressed, where like the doctors tell you like, hey, Here's some prescription for that. That's whenever you're depressed, I feel like. But like I said, also depression as a feeling. So you can be depressed for like a week, and then the next week you'll be fine. So it's just it's just a little battle you gotta do with yourself. But yeah, so I started getting the seizures, and it didn't help at all. There was times where I had to miss work. I had lost a lot of jobs because of that. Obviously, not because of the seizure thing, but because I couldn't continue, or I would miss out too much of work. None of my jobs fired me because of the seizures, but yeah, I would basically quit just because I knew that I needed at least a week to recover sometimes. So yeah, I would just quit and then like get a week and then try to get a new job and stuff like that. And that happened for about 5 years. I would not tell anybody, but I would not like my friends, my family would help me out. Well, my family would try to help me out. Like I said, and my mom would tell me, "Hey, mijo, you got to think differently. You got to think positive." And and obviously she meant very well. She knew what she was saying. You actually do have to think positive. But when you're in that mind frame of just being really depressed and you're in that hole, that's when there is no positivity leaking through. There wasn't. There was no way. I could not fathom what she was talking about. Like, what do you mean think positive? Like, what does that even mean? Like I was just like what are you talking about? Like right now I'm in the lowest point of my life. I don't know what to do with myself. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. I'm over here comparing myself, which is like really how you fail and trying to improve yourself. That is the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing you can do. I don't even think that's even my opinion. I think that's a straight fact. I don't think you should compare yourself to others. So, anyways, yeah, you're over here. I'm over here just in bed looking at social media, comparing myself. Like, hey, I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm behind. I feel like everybody's leaving me behind. I feel like I'm not doing this, and it just gets to your head, and then you start calling yourself names. You're like, man, you loser. This, that, this, blah, blah, blah. And then you're just in there. And while you're in those those four walls, it's like let's just keep getting darker and darker, darker around you, and it's just like I wasn't even getting any sunlight. I wasn't even going outside. I couldn't get fresh air. I was being, it was just so much to deal with, and it sucks. It sucks so much ass. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks so much. Especially now, looking back, I wasted at least 5 years of my life. Now, you can say I wasted it, but I feel like I had to go through it for the person that I am today. Obviously, everybody, well, some people might know this. I don't know what my target audience is, but whenever, uh, oh, I lost my train of thought. But anyways, yeah. So, um, yeah. So around 2020, around 2020, I want to say, I started getting better. I started like looking out more. I wasn't depressed as I was when I first started. I wasn't like in that hole anymore. It was more like I was trying to escape. I was trying to escape, and that's where I feel like it felt like quicksand. It felt like quicksand because you're trying to claw your way out of there. You're trying to climb up. You're trying to climb up. You're trying to see how you get out of there, and it's like the more you struggle to get out, the more the more you go in. So I thought, maybe, uh, I was like, maybe I'm already out. Like, yeah, sure, I did feel out. I did feel like I wasn't like that, but I still wasn't chilling with anybody. I still wasn't really socializing. I still wasn't going out. I knew that I was depressed. It wasn't a thing anymore. I knew that I was depressed. Um, and so I was just trying to basically help myself out of it. And like I said, some people are just not gonna understand. You gotta understand that as well. Some people have never gone through it. Some people, don't believe, like they just don't. They hate seeing you like that, and they just want to help. But sometimes the help is just not enough. Sometimes people just need to listen. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just trying to give advice back. That's another thing. You know, especially if you're. I've helped a lot of people in the couple of years that I've been out of my depression, and sometimes you don't say anything. You just gotta listen to them talk. Let them take that out. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, around 2019, 2020, I was getting out. I was not getting out the house, but I knew I was becoming self aware essentially, and I knew there was something wrong with me, and I knew I needed to fix it. Um, I started talking to my doctor about depression and stuff like that, and she prescribed me. I don't even remember the name of it, but basically, yeah. So I talked to her about it. I told her I have anxiety, I had depression. I mean, this is all coming from me. I didn't even have a doctor tell me this. It was all from me. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, and this is all coming truth. This is what I went through. And I talked to her about it, and she said, "Okay, cool. Let's give you some medications for your depression and for anxiety, uh, and let's see how that goes." I think it was like as it was started with an A or with a Z, something like that. And then she gave me some with my regular medication for the seizures, and I remember I remember taking the amount that she told me, and it felt off. It felt really off. Um, it was one of my darkest days, darkest years more than likely, because I honestly tried to, unalive myself. I really did. I tried twice actually, and while I was on those medications, I really wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So, and then mixing them with alcohol, not a good idea. So, yeah, I got the medication. I took them, and I started feeling weird, and it was weird. And this is to the point where it's gonna get kind of graphic. I'm just gonna let y'all know. Uh, I tried. I basically tried to slit my wrist. You know what I'm saying? Like the regular way. To do it. I mean, I even still have the scars right now. Um, but that didn't work. Uh, I don't know. I feel like something in the back of my head was like, you know what? I know you want to do it, but I know you don't want to do it. So I don't think I went fully through with it, right? The second time I tried it was trying to overdose, and I was trying to overdose on the medication that she gave me. Honestly, it made things worse, but it didn't. I couldn't. I didn't overdose. Oh, it's because I'm still here. So, yeah, that happened, and I broke down crying, and it was just the bottom of the bottom. That's where I hit rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottomless pit that I was talking about. That's when I hit the very bottom of it, and that's when I could see just nothing but darkness. You just don't see anything, man. And it's just it's sad, but okay, that happened around 2020, and then uh, and for me, I thought I was already getting out. I thought I was becoming self-aware and stuff like that, but I guess that medication was was what brought me to that conclusion, which was not a good conclusion. So I threw them all away, and I told my doctor not to ever give me or basically prescribe me those again. And I threw them away, and I just kept going with my life, and I just put that to the back of my head essentially, and I was just I just continued with my life. I was continuing looking for work. I was still working from home because I basically I crashed my car because I had a seizure. I had a Pontiac G6. It was all right. It took me from A to B, so it was a good car. And one day I was getting some food, and I forgot to take my medication. And I was like, it's one time. I mean, it's not gonna hurt. This and that. Or let me, to be honest with you, I didn't want to take the medication. I didn't want to take the medication. I honestly hated the fact that I had to take a pill to live my life. And that's something that sucks ass. But obviously, after that incident, I didn't take my medication, being stubborn, and I ended up going to get some food for the fam, and I ended up crashing. A lot of people don't know, but a lot of people will. Over there by Northside Drive. No, not Northside Drive. It was 28th Street in Maine. Yeah, 28th Street in Maine by O'Reilly's. I hit the pole and basically told my car. My shins, I guess I was seizuring, so my shins were when I was buckling, my shins were, I think, rubbing against the dashboard of the car. So my shins right now are kind of fucked. But but yeah, I crashed the car, went to the hospital in the ambulance. And this was around where COVID started, so yeah, it was there was not a lot of rooms, let's say that. A lot of people were really sick. They had me in the hallway, obviously because I was good. It's just seizure. I mean, it's a big deal, but once you've had plenty, it's like let them have the seizure, and then they'll get back up. I'll get back up. Yeah, I'll be disorientated and stuff like that. I'll go lay down, but it's just an attack. Like it's just a seizure. It's not something to call the ambulance for unless it passed. I believe it's supposed to pass like a minute or two. If you're still seizuring after a minute or two, that's when you call the ambulance to come pick you up, or you take the person to them. Um, another one, and this is just tips for anybody out there: don't put your fingers or anywhere near the mouth. When you seizure up, your jaw tends to clench up, so you, whenever you try to breathe, that's why people whenever they have seizures, the jaw shuts down, and you're trying to breathe, so it sounds like this, because you're breathing through your teeth. You're breathing like that with your teeth closed, and but yeah, it was just the reason why I'm explaining this is because my family had to go and see through that, and they were afraid. They obviously, even one of my best friends, I had one over there at his house, and he didn't know what to do. I had to tell him basically. I told him before, so he kind of knew what to do, but he didn't know what was going on. But he helped me out, and I just you're just out of it. You get up and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I just had a seizure. But so yeah, I totaled the car, so that put me even more down. It's like when stuff throws at you, life, like when life throws stuff like that at you, you can either make it a lesson, or you can just keep telling yourself, just keep telling yourself basically like, oh wow, things aren't going good for me. I suck. This like just keep putting yourself down, which is basically what I did. So yeah, I was sort of getting out around 2020, but it didn't really work out. I was not essentially all fully out, especially after I wrecked the car. I went a little bit more back in. I started taking my meds way more serious. I still do now. I think it's been a year and a couple months since I had my last seizure, so I'm really grateful for that, and I thank God for that. Um, so yeah, I went through that, and so now I was carless. So now I for sure had to work at home. So I got another job, worked from home. At 2020, I got another job, and I worked at home, and I stayed at that job for about 2 years. And I was just drinking. I was drinking heavily. And I was just talking, socializing a little bit more, and socializing with some of my coworkers and stuff like that. And it got to a point in my life around 2022 where something had happened to the point where I I was just in my bed with my eyes closed, and this is, like I said, this is all coming from my heart. This is all real. This is all what happened to me. So the way I got out, and this is not gonna be for everybody. Honestly, this is not gonna be for everybody. But like I said, I've learned a lot of things. I can help you out through them. I'm not charging anything. I will help you out. I'll try my best. I've helped people in the past. But all that aside, I remember laying in my room, and laying in my room, and I had my eyes closed, and then once I had my eyes closed, I don't know if I was listening to music or I was just deep in thought. When you're just in your bed, literally curled up in the fetal position, And just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. You're in your head. You're in your head. You're already in four walls trapped, and then now you're in your fucking head, man. Like, dude, that's gotta suck, dude. It did suck. It sucked ass. Like you're trapped in your own room. You're trapped in your head. The walls don't get any bigger. So yeah, I was just curled up, like I said, in a fetal position, just under the blankets, not asleep. And I was not trying to go to sleep, because most of the times that was my answer to everything. That's why I really didn't go out. And a lot of people will do that. So if you see your friends sleeping too much, staying in too much, ask them how they're doing, man. It doesn't really, even if you're a guy, dude, it doesn't matter. I'd rather hear your story than to see you in a casket. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how people think that it's negative or think that they don't want to deal with it. I get it. Yeah, it's depressing. But that's your homie, that's your friend, that's your homegirl, that's your partner, that's your family member. You know what I'm saying? It's not something. Depression sucks because depression does linger, and depression will. Um, if you're not strong enough, it can attach to you. If you're around a lot of depressed people, I'm guessing my whenever my friends, I didn't talk to them. They were doing their own thing. You know, it's not their fault. They didn't know. I don't think they did. I'm not sure honestly, but this was all on me honestly. So what I'm about to tell you, it's real. It's true. This is how it happened. I was there in my room laying down. When I was laying down, I was thinking, I don't want to live my life like this anymore. And so I asked, I don't know, I have always believed in God. Now, believing in God and having faith in God is two different things. And I know y'all gonna say, some people are gonna be like, "Oh, this guy, religion, this, and that." Say whatever the hell y'all want to say. I don't give a shit. But this is what happened to me when I was laying down, and this has to be in a span of probably 2 to 3 minutes. But when you're in your head, it's forever. So I'm in my head. I'm thinking I don't want to live my life anymore. So I'm basically in my head visualizing myself like, scratching and clawing and scratching and clawing, and all the sand keeps coming down. I'm not making any progress, and I'm just sitting there, and I was like, I don't want to live my life anymore. What can I do? How do I change this, and that? And what happens is I'm clawing and clawing and clawing, and I see a hand reach down. And this is all in my head. I see a hand reach down while I'm clawing, and when you're desperate like that for to get out of there, because I felt like I was gonna die if did not stop. I was basically in flight or fight modes. That's basically what that is. You feel like you will die if you do not, keep trying or do something. So that's what I was doing. So the hand came down. I grabbed the hand. I just, basically, I'm clawing. I'm just like, I grabbed it by instinct, and he pulled me up like nothing. He pulled me up like I was like that, and we were out of that deserty area. It was basically desert, and I was just in that sinkhole. Pulled me out, boom, everything was white, and I saw God. I saw God. I could not see his face though, and that's the story with a lot of people, honestly. I feel like and I'm actually kind of glad. It's not that I wish I could have, right? But I feel like he does that for a reason, because a lot of people have experienced this type of stuff, and they all say the same thing. They don't see the face. I could not see the face, but he had the whole Mouchin outfit on. Um, as soon as that happened, it was like this, and I can't specify how much of how quickly it was. It was so quick that I literally opened my eyes. I told myself, I'm not living my life like this anymore. Fuck that. Fuck depression. Fuck all this shit. I got my ass up the next day, and in this room, I started doing push ups, sit ups. I had 15-pound dumbbells, biceps, triceps, skull crushers, everything. I just started doing, I didn't know a lot. I was just doing the basics, running a mile, walking a mile. Actually, I wasn't running it. Walking a mile. You start slow. You got to start slow. You got to start somewhere. And I started realizing it. And honestly, what did help me out a lot, and it's gonna sound kind of maybe cringe to some people, but what helped me out a lot was TikTok. To be honest with you, I was going through a lot of TikToks, and obviously your FYP for you page, um, it basically goes with how you're feeling. So I started seeing a whole bunch of motivational speeches, and I started going through the comments, and I started because I was getting half and half now. I was getting motivational speeches, but I was also getting the depressed ones, the depression one. So I was looking at the depression ones, and I was looking at the motivational ones, and it was basically a choice that I had to make. I could either get better or stay where I was at. And so I decided to get better. And when I decided to get better, more motivational videos started popping up. And whenever I went to the videos, I would go to the comments to see what people were thinking. When I went to the comments, that's when I realized I was not alone. That's when I realized that I'm not the only one going through this. I realized there's so many people out there that just need someone to talk to, or they just need a vent or something. They just need to know that there's someone out there that feels the same way, that they're not alone, you know? And but yeah, I was just I just started doing the basic stuff here at home. Go outside and jump jet, all the just the basic stuff. Just starting to move around a little bit, getting out. Once I did that for about I want to say 6 months here, and then after that I got a gym membership and I started going to the gym. And then yeah, so basically the way I got out of it, honestly, it was God. It was God. For me, it was God. I know for a fact it was Him. There was I was going through to therapy at the time as well, and I'm still going to therapy. Therapy is great, especially if you want to vent. If you just want somebody to listen, therapy is great. If you want somebody to give you advice, therapy is great. Therapy is great. I don't work with them. Mine's called Dream Big. I think it's called Dream Big PSP. It's on Facebook. You can look them up. They have their own page. They're great people, awesome people. They care so much about you. There's online, and you can go to their office to get therapy. You don't have to go to their office and get the therapy if you're too shy or anything. It's actually kind of easier to do it online. It's actually kind of fun too. You don't have that pressure. You don't gotta, you just gotta you be in your comfortable room, and you just have therapy. So I was doing that, and yeah, I was. She could tell that from one therapy session to the other, I was having him weekly. So one week I was just depressed. The next week it was a whole different Johnny. And she saw that and immediately told me, and I was just like, yeah, I'm out. Like I didn't say I don't need y'all. Like I still get them. I still go to them because, like I said, it's still great. It's a great experience. A good place to vent. I learned that you're not supposed to bottle up your emotions. A lot of men tend to do so. A lot of men, sometimes, especially in the Hispanic community, they grow up thinking that that's not manly. They grow up thinking like, hey, I can't be doing that. My family needs me. I can't be crying. I can't be doing that, dude. I completely get where you're coming from. I understand. You feel like if you cry, that you'll be weak, or you'll be lesser than. But that is not the point, man. That day that I got saved, I cried and cried and cried. And I even went to my mom and I gave her a hug, and she knew in that way that I was letting everything out, everything that I held since I was a little kid. Um, so yeah, I let everything out. My mom just gave me a big hug. Like I said, she was always a big supporter of mine. She still is, but she was always a big supporter of mine. She would always try to help, but there's sometimes where you just can't help people, and that's okay. That's completely fine. they'll figure it out on their own if you can't, or they might not. But we'll get to that in another video or something else. But so yeah, um, I started, started going to the gym, started getting out, started getting more active, started, getting fresh hair, man. And I was still working at home, mind you. I was still working at home, but every single time I would leave work, I would no longer go to my bed. I would, I had to discipline myself to not only exercise, but to eat better. Um, a lot of the foods that we try to eat, or a lot of the fast food that we eat, yeah, sure, it's freaking good. I mean, but they don't give you everything that you need. I feel like um, to be in that steady mindset. When you have a good amount of energy and stuff like that. So yeah, it was it, it was hard. I mean, it's gonna be hard. Especially going to the gym was hard too. But when I said I didn't want to live my life like that, I don't know. Like I said, something just clicked, and I didn't give a shit. I told myself chicken and rice and broccoli and steamed broccoli. I made it. I would leave it meal prep. I did not care how it tasted. I mean, I'm not saying it tasted bad, but a lot of people will not do that just because they don't want to eat the same thing every day. That is not my case. I try. I was so focused, I was so locked in to changing the way I was living that I would just eat it and I didn't care what I was like. I didn't care. It was just a meal. I didn't see it as something that, oh, I want this. Nah, it was just a meal. You eat it and you go back to just working on yourself, or you eat your meals however you plan your diet. I guess I started getting better, and my mind became clearer, and I started seeing patterns. And I think since I was a kid, I've always been good at seeing patterns. So I started seeing patterns of how I was living my life and how I'm living my life now. And then I was just I didn't know. um I just Whenever you get out of stuff like that, especially when you're doing it by yourself, everything is new to you. So I was just trying new things. That's why I started going to the gym. I was like, you know what? I think I plateaued here, just doing push-ups, sit-ups. It wasn't doing it anymore. I still do the mile, 2 miles now. Uh, Run, walk it, however I can. Just put my steps in, and then I still go to the gym. But I remain active. After I got out of it, I started hitting up my homeboys, and we started chilling a lot more. We started going out to places to eat, and I just remember them. And even now, I mean, I still don't go out to like a lot of fancy places or stuff like that, or even places that a lot of people have gone to. But um, yeah, like I said, I was in a dark place, so for a long time, I want to say 5 years. So I didn't get to experience the 20 to 25. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get to experience when I turned 21. I went to the bars in 7th Street here in Fort Worth, Texas, and yeah, it's cool and everything, but it was just not my scene. I didn't like bar hopping. It was just I'd rather just drink at home and chill, smoke something or something like that. I don't know. And so yeah, even now I still sometimes don't even go. But anyways, yeah. Um, so I was just I got better, and I was just doing the thing. I was protein powder, creatine. I went full out on it. I wanted to. I asked about pre workout, but I've never been a fan of caffeine. I really don't like coffee or Red Bull or any caffeinated drinks like that. I'll drink them like if I get offered one, sure, but I don't go out of my way to buy them. I don't make coffee. I don't. Yeah. Um. So yeah. Um. So I didn't do the pre workout, but everything else I did. Um, I started getting better and stuff like that. And yeah, I you just once you start doing that, and once you start seeing from the outside in, how you were before and how you are now, man, that shit is so rewarding. Uh, I find myself even crying now when I look back, and I'm just like, it was like those dark days where it was just dark. Like I remember them so clearly, even though they were just dark days. And but just seeing you go from that to that, it's a completely different beast. It's so awesome. It's just you get to see your progress. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so amazing to see yourself get out of that hole. And I've helped people before. I've had to help people before. And what's it called? I've helped a good amount of people. I want to say I've helped at least like I want to say seven people. I'm not gonna name any names. I'm not gonna tell their stories. This is not. If y'all were to come and ask for me to help, I'm not gonna say it on here. I probably will be continuing doing videos like this. Maybe trying to give advice or trying to see what I can say to make sure that people know that they're not alone, and make sure that people know that if they can do, they can basically get out of it too. Um, yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically, like I said, I'll be making more videos of this. I'll probably talk more about how I helped other people, in a separate video. I'll probably talk about how what steps you can take to like get out of the situations y'all are in. I would really appreciate if some of y'all commented on the video, or if some of y'all just let me know how it was, or just give me some feedback. Like I said, my socials are always open for y'all if y'all want to just talk. If you want me to just listen, I'm more than welcome to just listen as well. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and tell my story because I feel like a lot of people know my story. Not a lot of people, the people in my community, right? Of course, because this will be going on YouTube. So hopefully I'll reach out to more people. But the people who are in my community, they know that I was depressed, and they know I got out of it. The reason I know that is because there's people that will still ask me how I'm doing, and I'm just like, I'm great, you know. Word of Tony the Tiger. No, no, I'm just playing. But I'm great, and I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of it, man. Like, yeah, and once you're out and you start having those days again, it's like you no longer affiliate those with depression. Like, that's depression, but it's not gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna stay there for long. So yeah, like you just gotta maneuver. You have to go through those days sometimes. You will have those days sometimes where you feel like shit. You don't want to talk to nobody. You just want to stay in your room, and you just want to isolate, which is totally completely fine. Just don't stay in there for too long, because if you do, that's when things get rough. If you have friends or family that are doing that, try to take them out. Try to do something. If one thing I will tell you though, there will be some people that will come to you asking for help, and you help them, or you try to help them, and they continue to live their life the way they did. And then those type of people, I'm not saying that they're not unsavable. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is those people have to help themselves before you can help them even more. Because if you don't want to help yourself, you're gonna be stuck there. That's the thing. That's what I was there for 5 years. I was just stuck, and I didn't want help. And even when people helped me out, I didn't understand it. So yeah, you gotta be patient, especially if you're gonna help people out. But yeah, like I said, I mean that's basically my story. Yeah, for the 5 years, I really, those 5 years, there's nothing there. There's just nothing there. I don't remember a lot of it. It was a lot of shit that I was just going to sleep. I just know that I was drinking. I was working while I was drink. I was drinking while I was working, and then going to sleep, and then repeat the day every single day. So yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna be making more videos about this. Uh, if you guys have any questions, if you want to know more, I will put more of my story out there. Um, but yeah, if y'all guys want to know more, just let me know. If y'all guys want to talk, just let me know. Hit up my socials. I'll put them in the video. I'll put them in the description somewhere. Just hit me up, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, if you have my number, text me. You're going through something, text me, message me, and we'll get that. We'll get through it together. But just know, you have to want to help yourself just as much as you want help from me. You know, because if you can't help yourself, how am I supposed to guide you? I've had interactions like that where you can't. Sometimes you just can't help somebody, and it's not because you don't want to. It's because they don't want to. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here, guys, and just share my story. And I wanted to make sure that the people out there, they know they are not alone. They know they can come to me, and they can go to anybody. Honestly, anybody that they trust. To be honest, anybody that they trust, anybody that you think is that will help you out, they'll listen to you. Um, Sometimes you gotta watch out who you do trust, but you'll start seeing those people, the people's true colors real quick. Um, Try to keep. I just like I said, I just want to make sure people who are feeling depressed, down, lonely, don't know what they're doing with their life. I mean, I still, I still don't. I mean, I'm still, learning, but I'm no longer in that depression. Depression. Yeah, I'll have those days where I'm sad, but I know that there's times where I'm gonna be happy. You just gotta know that, you know, everything has its opposite things. Joy is sad. Nervous is confidence, and stuff like that. You just gotta know. You gotta learn how to pick basically your battles. I mean, now that I'm out and I get sad, I know I'm not gonna be sad forever. There's just no way. And when I'm happy, I also do know that I'm not gonna be happy forever. But that's what makes life beautiful, I believe. Is whenever you are happy, you make the most of it. And the way I tell people this is, imagine you're going through a dark tunnel, right? You're going through dark times. Imagine you're going through a dark tunnel, and in that dark tunnel, there's cracks. And when there's cracks, there's light seeping through the cracks, right? And you can't see while you're walking through the tunnel, but you see that faint light from a crack in that tunnel. You go to that faint light and you get happy because you're seeing light, right? Stay in that light for a little bit, and then continue moving. Because I promise that if you continue moving, there's gonna be more cracks, and eventually you'll be out in the light. You'll be out. You'll know what's going on. You'll know what you want. You know what set of goals for yourself. You're gonna want to become better. You're gonna want to stop being the person you were before. You're gonna change, and it's gonna be scary, but you're gonna be able to do it. I believe people can do it. It's just a matter of just you wanting to. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to come on here, share my story, see um how y'all react to it. Honestly, I just want to thank everybody, for everything. We went through a year hiatus, so we haven't put out any content for this full year of 2024. Of course, we're coming back stronger in 2025. We got so much more stuff, more equipment, better equipment at least. And but yeah, I just want to say thank y'all so much for supporting me. And if you're going through it, man, just keep pushing through. Just keep pushing through. I know it sucks right now. I know it sucks. I know it sucks. But just keep pushing it. Keep pushing forward. Keep trying. Keep trying. Try to go out. Try to socialize. Get out of your house. Get out of the bed. Get out. Just stop. Just stop. Reevaluate your life. Try to see what can I do to make myself feel better. What am I eating that is not making me get up? What I mean, even just a walk, dude. Like, even just a walk can help you out so much, because you can clear your head with just a walk. So, yeah, guys, like I said, thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, like I said, hit me up, leave a comment, ask any questions y'all want. I'll make videos on it. You can do it anonymously. You can do it on the comments of this video. Like I said, you can hit up my socials. But yeah, I just want y'all to feel like y'all not alone, and I want y'all to know that there's always gonna be light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Infinite Trip, aka Johnny. Y'all know me. Say what's up, and then everybody stay blessed. Because the man upstairs, he's the one who's listening. He knows what you're going through, and he'll get you out. So thank you so much, guys, and yeah, just tune in, guys. Like I said, we're coming back 2025 even stronger. But yeah, thank y'all guys so much for listening. Thank y'all guys so much for supporting us, and thank y'all so much for being a part of the community. Thank you. And with that, later, guys.